Jeff Serp, Kiko Loureiro, Mark Morton,
I'm Laura.
Samuel Banner,
Andreas Kisser,
Nico Uribe,
Chris Kale,
Charlotte Vessels.
Jeff Waters.
Sobre la dosis.
Sobre le dosis.
Sobre la dosis.
Sobra la dosis.
Sobre la dosis.
Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
With Jonathan Montenegro. Let's go!
Better be listening because I know where you live.
Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. So good to hear from you again, man. Always nice to get a repeat fan friend here. It's me, Chris Barnes. So, Jonathan, I've got these 3 questions from you, and I appreciate that, man. Without further ado, I guess we'll go ahead and answer these for you, buddy. So you say, hi, Chris, I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, do I remember how the approach to get to participate in the iconic movie Ace Ventura went? Yes, I do. It's hard to forget such a big part of my career. So the Ace Ventura movie came about one afternoon. I got a phone call from our record label, Metal Blade Records, and the vice president was on the other line, and he said, Chris, I have some great news. I've just got a request. I think it was from Morgan Creek Films, that they want you to participate in the movie that they're doing, Ace Ventura, with Jim Carrey. And I was told Jim Carrey was a big fan of our music, and he wanted us to be in the movie. So it was really exciting, man, to get that call from Metal Blade. And I was like, oh man, this is awesome, you know. I was just like blown away by it, you know. We're going to be in a movie. So we basically just, you know, found out he was into our music, and I went to the rehearsal space to talk to the rest of the guys at Cannibal Corpse that day. And I let them know that Jim Carrey wanted us to be in his movie Ace Ventura that they were filming down in Miami, and all the details and stuff like that. And everyone was super excited. I was a big fan of Jim Carrey's stand-up comedy at the time. I really thought he was super funny, and so were the rest of the guys, man. They all liked him too. So we all talked about it, and we all wanted to do it, you know. One of the guys was kind of questioning it if we should do it, but he got outvoted. I'm not going to bring up any names who that was, but you know, I think that it would have been a huge missed opportunity if we didn't do it, and most of the guys in the band thought that too. So we all took a flight down to Miami and started filming it. We're introduced to Jim Carrey, and he was super nice to us, and really accommodating, and a metalhead. I mean, no doubt about it. I was hanging out with him while he was getting his makeup done the one day before filming, and we were in his trailer listening to AC/DC Highway to Hell, the CD that he had on, and he had a few other CDs. I remember looking down at the makeup table. He had Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power, and a Napalm Death CD too there. So total metalhead, and I'm not sure if he is now still, but I mean, metal never gets out of your blood, so I'm sure he still likes his metal. I haven't spoken to him in a long time or anything since the movie, but you know, that was a big part of our career, and we were eternally thankful to have done that film. It was a great experience, and it was a learning experience for me too, because I'm a big film buff. So being on the set of a film and seeing how a movie actually gets put together, and how it's done was super exciting for me. I even got to go up with the rest of the guys. Most of them went up to the editing booth and got to see dailies and stuff like that being put together. So got to witness on the movie actually being made and how they were writing it and all that and editing it, which was it's just something I'll never forget. So that's how that came together, and a little story about that for you. Question number 2 that you have, let me scroll through that. Says, Chris, you are a fundamental part of extreme music worldwide. Thank you. Thanks, Jonathan. And you want to know, what is my opinion about this? Do you think that what the inner circle represented at the time is a fundamental part of black metal, or do you see it as a bandit act and alien to the strictly musical? I gotta be honest, Jonathan, I didn't know what the inner circle of black metal was. I had to look it up, so I don't think I'm the greatest reference to that whole scene, because I wasn't a black metal fan. I suppose if I wasn't a musician already making music in death metal, I probably would have been a bigger fan of black metal looking back at it than death metal. I probably would have been more in that scene as a fan, because it was a lot more extreme as far as what they were doing. So I never was, at that point in time, I was already on tour with Cannibal. We were 2 albums in, pretty much when black metal started really getting going, like in 91 and stuff. So it wasn't really my scene, and I didn't know too much about it, other than I liked a couple bands. I mean, one band that stuck out to me was Beharit, but they were a Finnish band, so that doesn't really get included in the inner circle. That was more of like a Norwegian early black metal thing, I'm pretty sure, based around Mayhem and stuff from what I've read recently. So yeah, I'm not a big I'm not a very good reference to ask that question. I appreciate all that stuff. I mean, it black metal helped kind of keep death metal going, because I mean it was almost looked at as a branch of death metal in early on, I think. So at least that part of black metal, for me, I was just, as a fan early on, I was a huge Venom fanatic. So that was the black metal that's where I'm limited to as far as black metal goes, is in like the original type stuff like Venom, which I kind of looked at as just like an extension of Motorhead, really, at the time, being a fan and stuff like that. So, I mean, as far as it being a fundamental part of the origins of black metal, every type of music really has a starting point and a concrete base, I guess, and like a fundamental beginning. So, looking at it just in that way, I'm sure it was, yeah. Just like, the Florida death metal scene and the New York death metal scene were fundamental parts of death metal. So black metal, I'm sure that was a big point of it at that time, as far as getting it catapulted into the known music styles and genres, and making people aware of its extreme nature. So I think that's really the best answer I can give you on that. Hope that helps, man. Hope you like that. But okay, so number 3, your third question is, what are my top 3 death metal albums of all time? Well, on that, I'm gonna have to say Well, I'm gonna have to say Possessed, 7 Churches. I'm gonna go with Death, Leprosy, and Spiritual Healing, and Scream, Bloody Gore. I'm gonna have to wrap those 3 up into, because Chuck was a good friend of mine, and I was a huge fan of Death early on. So rest in peace, Chuck. And also I'm gonna go with the third one. I'm gonna have to say Obituary, Slowly We Rot. Huge album. All 3 of those bands are, similar type of death metal. I mean, of course, Possessed is the kings of death metal. They pretty much started it all, Jeff Becerra, fucking awesome guy, man. So yeah, that's where I come from, man, and really loved all those albums. And so, and if I have to throw a 4th one in there, I'm gonna have to say Butchered at Birth, being kind of, pat myself on the back. That was a huge album in death metal, as far as kind of our twist on the whole thing. And I think it influenced a lot of people, just as Possessed influenced a lot of bands to move in a certain direction. So yeah, that's my take on that, buddy, and I appreciate your questions, Jonathan. Good to hear from you again. And so yeah, man, until next time, and I hope I answered those questions adequately for you. And horns up to you once again, metal brother, and we'll see you out there. Appreciate you, Jonathan. Thanks, man. See you later, buddy.